To respond to a commenter, and this is a continuation on the discussion about how, fathers can oppress their daughters by withholding finances and resources. Specifically, I want to talk about a resource that many children have experienced from their parents. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I've been counseling men and women for many years now. This commenter says, my dad held my car hostage that I paid for. This is a common abuse tactic, and I'm not talking about something that would happen in the regular form of discipline, like punishment. Your child did something, and, as punishment, you maybe take their car for the weekend or something like that. I'm talking about when parents want to oppress children. The first thing that they want to do to try to oppress their children is to remove their sense of freedom. Even if they're a responsible child, they're going to work, they're going to school, and they're just doing this and that. They want to try to remove their sense of freedom. They want to make them suffer by inconveniencing them and making life inexplicably difficult for no reason, just for maliciousness. And so this is a common tactic that I've seen abusive parents use, where they literally strip everything away from their children so that their children not even can depend on them, but just so their children are left without anything. And are left terribly inconvenienced, and so that they don't have the freedom to move about life. And this can even happen after a child has turned 18. So it's not just for young kids that are, 15, 16 or whatever. This is even for children that have reached legal adulthood, where parents just want to be cruel and say, you know what, give me that damn car, give me those damn keys to that car, or they'll take the car and they'll hide it. I've seen that, where they'll take the car to another undisclosed location, or they'll drive your car, and you get to see them driving your car, or they'll hand your car off to the older sibling and have the older sibling driving your car, and you get to watch somebody else drive your stuff that you pay for. That makes absolutely no sense. Or they'll drive it themselves and say, you know what, give it to me, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it. And so there is this, there's this punishment, but there's also this taunting element, like, I am in control, I have the power, I took your things away from you, and I get joy out of watching you suffer and see other people use your resources. It's psychological abuse at its finest. You can't talk to them about it. You guys can't problem solve. You can't come to any agreement. It's all arbitrary. It's their way or the highway, and they don't care what you say. If you cry about it, that angers them and frustrates them more, and they get this glee out of, sort of torturing you with your own stuff that you bought with your own money. And they will continue to taunt you too. It's not uncommon for parents to do this kind of stuff to you. Talk about you on the phone to their friends, or talk about you to a random stranger that they don't even know, and tell them how disappointing you are as a child, or watch you get upset and say, I don't give a shit about you being mad. You can cry all you want to. I don't give a shit about you being mad, and really sort of taunt you there. And, or you keep crying like that, I'm going to give you something to cry about, all that kind of stuff, where they just sort of continue to pour salt on the wound and continue to really, it's overkill. They're trying to, stomp on you when you're down. You want to be careful with that, and you want to watch parents who are like that. They are cruel for the fun of it. This is a sport to them, and you are, you're the rat or the mouse, whatever you want to call it, the thing that's being chased and being made to, poke, prod, and make fun of at your emotional expense. It's not funny. It's not necessary. It's inexplicably cruel. And they're wrong for doing that. And anybody who stands around and watches them, I think, is equally as wrong. So if they're married, or if you have a mother or whatever, another adult that's kind of there and they're aware and they're watching and they see what's going on and they're not intervening. They're not saying anything, or they're co-signing on what your parents are doing. They're equally as abusive, in my opinion, because you should be assisting with that. I think bystanders who don't intervene and don't say anything and allow it to go on, or try to secretly comfort you behind closed doors, they're just as abusive. So, I'm sorry this happened, but this is unfortunately experience that a lot of adult children have, or even, children and teenagers go through, where they're deprived of their resources in which they were forced to pay for with their own money. And essentially your parent is stomping you down because they don't want to see you get ahead, even though you did all that you could do to try and get ahead. So thanks for writing this, and I'm sorry this happened. Be sure to keep in touch by subscribing to my newsletter, which is linked in the bio. My podcast is also linked in the bio, but it's called A Date with Darkness, and it's across all podcast platforms and even on YouTube. TikTok is switching over to the US-based version only. So anybody who watches me internationally, I don't know what that means, for you, but let's stay in touch. Thanks so much.